Televisa presenta.
Welcome to the first episode of our podcast. My name is Jimena Rivera.
I'm Sara Castillo.
And I am Samuel Munir.
And this is
Psicologos.
where we will talk about behavioral things that exactly not so behavioral.
First of all, guys, look at my shirt.
Mm.
Yeah, we are wearing some interesting props here because we want to talk about something related to it, different concepts, right? Have you ever no? Have you watched lately the news about the war in Ukraine or the G20 with Sheinbaum, or even the last news about Trump and his presidency? All of the people that have watched the news are taking different point of views, and they are even thinking about moving away for looking for better opportunities, right? That has a name. That has a name if you were wondering, and that's called forced migration. But did you know that there is a specific definition for that word, forced migration? Well, there is. Forced migration means a person has been forced to their country because of persecution, war, or violence. That's a person who is a refugee with a well-founded fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, political reasons, nationality, or being a member of a particular social group.
Yes, and I read somewhere that migration statistics are alarming. And nationally, here in Mexico, in 2020, there were 281 million migrants. Cause include, for example, domestic violence, lack of education, like economic hardship, and internationally, we see conflicts in Ukraine against Russia, or the political crisis in Venezuela, or in Syria and Palestine, driving people away from their countries.
Yes. Thank you guys. And after this information, how we are psychologists, we want to talk about this topic from the psychology perspective. So we want to talk about today from ABC model, from be more specific, like MO model. First, we want to talk about ABC model. ABC model are divided in three parts. The first is A, like it's antecedent. Antecedent is like the things that happen before, after the behavior. Yes, it's before, right?
Yes, before.
It's before the behavior. B is just the behavior they can do, and C is the consequence. And is the reinforcement or punishment for the behavior. For one example is like one guy social recognition. So I don't know, he does like some bad for other guy, and another guy is just laughing. So the guy is like, oh, this is social recognition. So he does the can do it in one time, in another time, in another time. This is the ABC model.
Yes, exactly. And motivating operations are known as MOs, fit right into the A part of the model. MOs are events that change how valuable a reinforcer is and how likely a related behavior is to occur. And I will give you an example of more in the future.
Okay. And for the MOs is like two operations, right, Sam?
Yes.
Yes, the first is establishing a operation, and is the condition that increase the value of one of reinforcement, and as a result, increase the probability that behavior related to reforms will occur. And another example is like I don't know, one guy is thirsty, so the guy wants water, and the word is like for him is more value. So the guy takes water, and for him is like, oh my god, it's so exciting. And so the probability of the conduct exist is more, yeah.
Second division or section is the abolishing operation. That it's just the exactly opposite of establishing operation. For example, this abolishing operation tries to diminish the reinforcer. So the conducts that are related to the reinforcer are going to just diminish. For example, everybody has gone to a buffet, so you know what that's about. You go, you pay, and you eat a lot, just a lot of
Yes.
food. After that, the food that at the beginning was just like really attractive to you, it doesn't have the same effect for you when you finish eating all of the things that you wanted to get. You are not as hungry, or you are not getting you're not trying to get more food because you are already full. Another example is a very expensive guy, right? That gets couldn't on much. So he has a lot of female attention. So it's not like at the beginning when he was growing up that nobody would talk to him. So later on, when he got attracted, he would get that a lot of attention, and then the conflicts later on are that he's not as nervous, or he's not as thirsty for that attention. So it's not enough. That's like the abolishing operation.
And yes, there is an important difference between MOs and discriminative stimuli, or SDs. In this case, MOs affect the value of the reinforcer. This is how much someone wants it, and SD is the signal whether the reinforcer is available if a specific behavior is performed.
Yes.
Guys, well, you have the opportunity to migrate to the USA, having in mind that Trump right now is in the presidency. Would you go away?
Well, for me, the answer ties back to what we just discussed. Think about establishing operation. If I were fleeing violence or economic hardship, those factors will massively increase the value of safety and opportunity in the United States, regardless of strong policies. And well, actually, I have an example to those who are not psychology to have a better understanding of this topic. Imagine that a person lives in a very dangerous place, for example, here in Mexico, with a lot of violence or without opportunities to work and provide for his or her family. In those conditions, looking to move to another country, such as the United States or Canada or France or Spain, where there is more security and work, becomes very attractive. It is a it is as if the value of moving is very high because it will solve very important problems in the life. On the other hand, think of someone who lives comfortably, has a good job, and feels safe in their city. For that person, moving to another country is not so attractive because they don't need to escape from anything or look for something better. In this case, the value of moving is much lower. And the idea is that what makes something more or less desirable depends a lot on the situation of each person. If you are in a complicated place, moving seems like the best option. If you're already doing well, you don't feel the need. These kinds of situations are what influence our decisions and behaviors, and psychology calls them setting operations, things that increase how much we value something and drive us to act to get it.
That's interesting because in both of your examples, we are also seeing that you have the antecedent, the behavior, and the consequence, right?
Yes, and actually, as I said, it's dependent on in each person, is in a particular situation, in a particular context.
That's so cool. For me, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
For me, I don't know. The answer is yes, because I want more things about psychology, and I think the for me the reinforcement is learning about psychology and about my career. And so I don't know, maybe it's just and the ABC and the ABC model is like the antecedent is learning more things. Like in Mexico, I have no, maybe I don't have the opportunity. So this is the antecedent. The conduct is like travel to USA, and the consequence is like have more information. I don't know, maybe have more jobs or have more opportunities to get jobs. So I think it's that, and also the end goals, is establishing operation because I have the value of learning more things about psychology and more opportunities.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. And how about you, Sarah?
Would say yes too, because I'm looking for another lifestyle to improve the lifestyle that I have already. Not just, I love Mexico, but I would be interested in going away. So, like some said, it starts to be more violent, or even the economics are going down. I would really try my best to migrate and try to, whenever I have kids, because right now I don't know, but I would like to have one. I would like to give them a better life and opportunities in the future. So, well, as the agency said, I have the antecedents that I look for, like the behaviors that when I am sick right now, and the consequence that if it is the case, then
Yes, it's interesting. I know that your family is there, right, in USA,
yeah,
and you have the opportunity to travel there.
excuse me.
You want the opportunity to travel there in the USA with your mom and your brother?
Normally I go to visit them like twice a year, but right now for the my studies, I don't go as much or as long as I would like to. But after finishing my career, I would think about maybe that it's an option. I'm not close to it. Maybe
Yeah.
studying a master's there or something like that. But it's something that in my case, it's really helpful to have them there because it's well, they are my family, right? So it's not as the other way that someone goes to another place where they don't have anyone. So I would be welcome. I think that I would be welcome, but it wouldn't be as scary as other people that are thinking about doing it, right? So,
Yes, it's scary, but I think it's good for learn new things or what now learn about the culture and it's not violence and war and that thing. So I think it's good travel.
even if you fell in love, you go to the other country for your lover. So yeah, that's not the same, but it
Yeah.
happens.
Yes, and
Things happen. So
yes. Well, what about our title? So Trump is right about migration. Behavioral science say it's way more complex than just building walls. Um, what we saw, migration is not about political slogan or simple choices. It's about the conditions that push people out of their homes and pull them toward other countries. If we really want to address migration, we need to focus changing the antecedents, in this case, violence and poverty, that drive people to live in the first place, the country of origin. Well, thanks for turning to Psycholocal. Don't forget to follow us on social media and share this episode with someone who loves psychology or just love learning about politics.
See you soon. Bye.
Adios, amigos.
Adios.